they are going to cross. They're going to cross into parts of Harriman State Park and parts of the Sterling Forest. They also intend to use a staging area at the world-famous Renaissance Fair. So we would like to know at what point in the year they are going to do that, because it will directly affect our town's ability to have tourists come into the town, which we do annually. Thank you very much.
Next up on deck is Johan Sayer. My apologies if I butcher your names, please correct me. Thanks.
My name is Laura Burkhart, and I live in Nanuet, New York, which is in Rockland County. So I want to speak about the possibility of leaks from the pipeline. And this concerns me from purely parochial point of view, because the pipeline will go through the Ramaco well fields, which provide drinking water for at least 1/3 of Rockland County residents. And a spill or leak in this area would contaminate the water for an unknown number of years and potentially would never be cleaned up. This is a serious concern to us Rocklanders. So my first point here is about this smart leak technology. And I have a number of questions. Pilgrim has told us that we're going to be using the latest stuff, and that there will be shut-off valves every 10 miles along the pipeline. So, but as was previously mentioned, in Santa Barbara they had this latest smart detection technology, and there was a massive spill anyway. So my questions, which I think should be answered, are first of all, what kind of sensors are being used? What is the track record of those sensors? How reliable are they? And then there are a lot of questions about software. We all know some of the really atrocious things that have happened because of faulty software. Rockets with expensive payloads blowing up because of a faulty line in the software. So related to the software, I just want to know, is this something that Pilgrim is developing in-house, or are they using a commercially available product? If it's commercially available, what is its track record? How quickly will a leak be detected? And after the leak is detected, how long does it take before the valve is shut off? And is the shut-off valve activated by the software, or does it require some operator looking at a screen to manually shut it off? And how much oil will have leaked before the valve is activated? So the second point that I want to make is about the dangers of having this pipeline along the thruway. As we've been told, about 79% or so of the pipeline will be in the thruway right of way. And the Pipeline Safety and Hazardous Materials Administration says that 44% of pipeline leaks occur because of external and other forces. So what is an external and other force? Well, for one thing, it can be an earthquake. I know we're not California, but we still have the potential for earthquakes here. Another external force can be frozen ground. We live in New York, we know our winters are cold, we all know about frost heaves. And then third, truck vibrations can also exert a force. And we know that the thruway is a primary corridor for very heavy truck traffic, so it seems to me this is a very potential danger. And a leak along the thruway, not only would it disrupt the primary transportation route in New York, but there's also a grave danger to working farms along the thruway, who, as I believe one other commenter pointed out, are dependent on the water that will be crossed by the pipeline. So if you ask what can you do? What I say is this. I say, write or call Governor Cuomo, write letters to your U.S. senators and to your U.S. representatives and to the Department of Transportation, asking them to not approve this exception that Pilgrim has applied for to build their pipeline in the right-of-way. And write to your state senator multiple times if you need to, and ask him to support this bill. The companion version has been approved in the Assembly. Ask your senator to approve the Senate version. That will give towns the ability to oppose and prevent pipelines also. Thank you.
Johan, you're next, followed by Allison White. And if I could please remind everyone to direct your attention to the camera when you speak, it will be very helpful.
Hi, thank you for facilitating transmission of our comments into the secret process. That's a really wonderful thing you're doing. My name is Johannes Sayer. I live in Kingston, New York. I cross Ramback Creek, Black Creek, and the Hudson every day on the way to work. My family has property 500 yards from where the thruway crosses the Wallkill, and I kayak and monitor eels, courtesy of my too, on the Hudson. Particularly given the participation of former principals of major fossil fuel industry players like Koch brothers in this project, well, let's start at the conclusion. The right of business to make money is subordinate to the public interest. We come first. As we know from 40 years of experimenting with deregulation and trickle-down economics, business making money is frequently not in the public interest, but rather serves only the interests of those making money at the expense of the public. It is not in the public interest to perpetuate the fossil fuel energy industry. It's in the public interest to end it and replace it with sustainable renewable energy production and delivery, which is already cost competitive with fossil fuels, which does not pollute and whose production does not pose risks to communities. If the existing energy industry cannot use its capital and skill to transform itself to participate in this new energy economy, market forces will replace it. Now to the particulars of this project. We note that the build-out of domestic fossil fuel production is legitimized with claims that all of the above, in other words, all possible energy sources, must be considered to increase the security of our energy supply by making us independent of foreign producers. But then we note that the fossil fuel market has been based on international trade for decades, and that the U.S. has now lifted the ban on export of crude oil. This pipeline will connect the Albany terminus of the oil route from the Midwest, not just to the Linden, New Jersey refinery, but to marine terminals which would allow shipment overseas. Is this about increasing our energy security or about making money on exporting our crude oil? Exporting our raw materials doesn't increase our security. It's what impoverished countries in the developing world do because they don't have any other way to make money. If the plan is to export to our friends and allies, most of them are already hard at work transforming their economies to sustainable energy. Why would they want to move backwards and become dependent on us for polluting energy sources? Speaking of pollution, this pipeline poses a spectrum of risks at regional and community levels. At a regional and global level, it helps prop up use of fossil fuels, which contribute to climate change. We just got the news that sustained carbon dioxide levels over 400 parts per million are being measured month over month. Cities up and down the Hudson will have neighborhoods and infrastructure lost to rising water levels as temperatures continue to rise. Pipelines leak. According to the Center for Biological Diversity, since 1986, there have been nearly 8,000 pipeline spills, an average of 76,000 barrels per year, of which an average of 31,000 barrels per year were not removed by cleanup. They stayed in the environment. 31,000 barrels per year left over after cleanup. This pipeline is meant to transport back-end crude, which is known to be much more explosive than other crude oil grades. Pipelines can explode just like oil trains. Picture a summer Sunday afternoon. The southbound thruway stop and go from Kingston, 90 miles south to New York City, and a pipeline explosion or leak occurs. Picture the chaos as the work week starts, the disruption to transportation, the damage to neighborhoods, the long-term environmental effects. Local emergency agencies uniformly indicate that they're unequipped to address pipeline accidents. The pipeline plan proposes to stage resources so that they're able to respond in 12 hours. That's an awful long time to wait while oil is burning or leaking. And we're supposed to countenance all this to prop up an industry which has run its course and whose hazard to our environment and thus the national and global public interest is now well understood. No, thank you. This project needs to be ended. Thank you very much.